Julie Woodward. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a big round of applause once again for Miss Julie Woodward.
It's Woodard, actually. I've got that for my entire life, though. You know, the second W. There's no second W.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. So I was really hoping that I wasn't going to be called, but since I was, I've been a detective my entire life, and a lot of that has played out onto my street. I grew up in western Pennsylvania, in Indiana, PA, Christmas tree, capital of the world, and hometown of Jimmy Stewart. I hung the sign that was once called Philadelphia Avenue that became Jimmy Stewart Avenue up because I was Zuzu in It's a Wonderful Life, you know, and all the actors from the movie came to Indiana and participated in it. It was amazing. It was magical. But my street on Sunset Drive, I lived on 270 Sunset Drive, it was not immune to terrorism. And I will tell you, that cul-de-sac, there was a lot of trouble around that cul-de-sac. It started when I was about 7. Those hoodlums came. I don't know where they came from, but they came with their knives and their spray paint cans and slashed the tires in the neighborhood and broke into, you know, unlocked cars and sprayed all of these crazy words on all the cars. And I was very, very, very terrified when I saw it in the back of my parents', what was it, a Taurus Oldsmobile? Yes, that, until I wrecked it. That was later. Undertaker in red spray paint. Undertaker, is someone coming to kill me? You know, a 7-year-old girl. I was very, very afraid. But this is when my detective instincts kicked in. And I decided to go around and interview everyone in the neighborhood and find out if I could find these hoodlums and identify them, you know, put them to justice. So I talked to a younger, actually, no, I think he was about 2 years older than me, a kid who lived down the street, Chris Clausen, and he was a big WWF fan. So it turns out that the Undertaker was a character. So I felt, okay, maybe my life is not, you know, at risk here. I could be safe. Next, you know, there was an Austin, Steve Austin's. I don't know. I don't really know these characters, but I became familiar, you know, and this was before the internet, but, you know, I watched some of it on his cable TV. I didn't have cable, but, and found out more about these characters. So I said, okay, this is the type of person, this is the makeup of this hoodlum. Okay, what age would they be? You know, trying to find out all these things. And next I went to the mailman. And in Indiana, the mailman drives around in a mail car, you know, so I ran down the street and ran like with my arms in the middle of the street, 7-year-old girl, and said, you know, can you help me? Have you seen anything that could be suspicious? And he said, actually, I did see a few boys throwing some paint cans into the gully, you know, in the next neighborhood. So I said, this could be interesting. And, you know, and so I actually asked him if, you know, he could point out the place. So he said he couldn't take me in the car. So I just walked the whole way to the next neighborhood, and he showed me where it was, and I kept, you know, asking. So I asked the other kids, and I started asking people on the bus, too. And that's when I found out who it was, you know, and I told the police. Oh, I probably didn't even mention. I called the police, and they came to my house, and I don't know, I think that they might have used aerosol cans, and they probably don't live in my neighborhood, blah, 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 blah. And so they went to the house of these two kids, and their parents basically just covered for them, you know. They said, oh, Zach was in that night, you know, we were watching television, and everything's fine. So they weren't exactly put to justice. However, I continued on my mission as a detective. The next incident was pretty hard for me. My neighbor's cat, Harriet, was injured. So I went around to all the neighbors asking, where was your cat this night? You know, someone let your cat out of the house because Harriet has a big gash in her eye. Whose fault is this? Again, that wasn't very successful. This year I've had some interesting break-ins here in Philadelphia, one of which someone actually busted down my front door. And I asked the police to help me with that one, and they just kind of laughed at me. So I think my detective skills are, you know, waning But I have faith that one day I will bring one of these hoodlums to justice.